Hello, Nguyen in Vietnam is back with more exciting stories from the cultural scene. What can be more thrilling than when a top boy band shoots music videos to promote Vietnam's stunning scenery? And are you curious, who is the producer behind one of the world's most innovative fashion and sustainability projects? And later, we asked a number of expats and travel bloggers, why Vietnam, to discover what drew them to the country. Are you ready to go on this journey? Here we go. Along with a series of popular tourist attractions, Vietnam's landscapes have been spotlighted by Vietnamese artists in numerous music videos. Using the country's iconic landscape and culture as backdrops to music videos has prompted renewed patriotism and sparked worldwide tourism interest in Vietnam. But the country's diverse and stunning landscapes are now inspiring international stars, too.
Rice fields up over us into those terraces.
The Moffats headed to Sapa, the famous northern province tourist destination 320 kilometers from Hanoi, to shoot a music promo.
Okay, so we'll film there, and we have our background of rice terraces, but for the drone perspective, he has the entire valley to come over us, come to the side of us. That's a good spot. So you either have that perspective or you have this perspective. But we're getting close, guys.
You guys are cool.
You're cool, dude. Hey, it's Clint. It's Bob.
And it's Dave.
We're from Music Travel Love.
And I'm from Dave Moffat Music.
And we're hanging out in this beautiful Sapa Valley.
Check it out.
1, 2, 3.
It's true, I'm not good at a one-night stand, but I still need love 'cause I'm just a man.
The poetic melodies and sweet voices of the Moffats, combined with beautiful scenes of Sapa, have left a major impression of Vietnam's natural charms on international audiences.
Won't you stay with me? 'Cause you're all I need. This ain't love, but it's clear to see.
The resulting video transfixed audiences and inspired them to explore the S-shaped country.
Stay with me.
I mean, the nature was beautiful. The mountains, we actually spent the whole day driving around on motorbikes trying to find a location for that video. And that was an awesome way to kind of find a location, because you literally were driving through little roads and little areas of Sapa, and we really got to experience Sapa in its fullest glory. Yeah. So, yeah, an amazing time. You know, doing Music Travel Love, probably my favorite part of it is going somewhere that is very different than what we're used to. And Sapa was not anything like we had ever seen before. So, you know, it's just nice to add that to the bank of memories. Absolutely.
This music video is part of the Canadian boy band's Music Travel Love project, which will see the members discover the beautiful landscape and people in each place they visit. Music has become a powerful tool for promoting Vietnam's tourism industry, with singers and artists becoming de facto tourism ambassadors. During their journey in Vietnam, the band members also shared their foodie moments, trying local cuisine and sightseeing. And best of all, Vietnamese fans were treated to a string of well-loved famous hits.
Every time her eyes meet, this feeling inside me, it's almost more than I can take. Baby, when you touch me, I can feel how much much you love me, and it just blows me away. Every little thing that you do, I'm so in love with you, just keeps getting better. I wanna spend the rest of my life, you by my side, ever and ever. Every little thing that you do, oh, every little thing that you do, baby, I'm amazed by you.
Yeah, I mean, it's really become sort of a lifestyle for us. You know, we did the Moffat thing, and then Clint and I moved to Nashville and did a lot of songwriting. And ultimately, long story short, just we asked ourselves, you know, the question, what do we want to do for the rest of our life? What makes us happy when we wake up in the morning? And we just thought music, travel, our family, love, these are things that are very important to us in our life. So we decided music, travel, love was going to be it. And it's just turned into something that's probably a lot bigger than we ever expected it to be. You know, I think when we put a video out, you know, we kind of have this reaction where people, they're going along this journey with us. You know, they're loving the nature, the calm nature sounds mixed with the scenery, and then the music kind of all goes together. So yeah, we're loving it.
당신을 기다렸어요. 천년이 아닌 5천년 동안 무인의 모래.
The Moffats are not the first foreign artists to fall in love with Vietnam's nature. In August 2022, Korean singer Joseph Kwan released 2 music videos heavily featuring footage captured at some of Vietnam's most famous tourist destinations. When first visiting Vietnam as a child, he was impressed by the natural landscapes, unique culture, and friendly people. So Joseph decided to film his videos in Vietnam to entice others to experience the Vietnamese people's culture and warmth.
옛거리를 함께 달려 Memories in your heart 언제까지나 Mục tiêu mình gọi đó là Sài Gòn. Người Việt dễ thương dễ dàng chào đón, dịu dàng thước tha đến với cố đô Huế, cần cù chịu khó là biết bao nhiêu cô mê.
By combining your favorite tracks with Vietnam's outstanding natural beauty, artists have found a way to present their music in a more visual and engaging way. And thanks to that, it also helps to advertise Vietnam as a land of warm-hearted people and spectacular scenery.
Hi everyone, my name is Jessica Nguyen. I am a fashion show producer and also a sustainability advocate. I grew up in Moscow, Russia, and I did my undergraduate in IT in Malaysia and my master's degree in marketing communications in the UK. After that, I decided to become an entrepreneur because I have a lot of ideas which I would like to turn them into reality, so I didn't want to work for somebody else. Over the past 10 years, I've produced more than 30 shows in 4 different continents, and my shows are usually divided into 4 types. I have shows that are fashion and sustainability, promoting fashion, sustainability, innovation, technology, and also protecting the environment. And that would be shows at the solar power plant in Spain, or Hoover Dam in the US. Then I have the shows about iconic locations in the world. We're talking about the Eiffel Tower, London's Tower Bridge, One World Trade Center. And then I have shows on water called Catwalk on Water, and these are usually produced either on the rivers such as Seine River or Hudson River, or on international cruise ships. And the very last type is very sky-high catwalks. So that would be on the Grand Canyon Skywalk. So because of these 4 iconic and unique series, I feel like I'm doing something that I'm passionate about, and I work very hard for it, and it's really worth it. I think it's not much of a secret that I managed to get locations that people do not have the access to. It's a lot about how you deliver the message, and I think with the same content, some people deliver it a little bit better than others, especially when they truly believe in it, and I really believe in whatever I'm doing. So I think people can see that. I have appeared in a lot of international medias for the past decade.
Jessica Ming-An is known for her extraordinary stunt shows and photo shoots across the globe.
This was all the brainchild of Jessica Ming-An.
Jessica Ming-An puts on fashion shows around the world. She takes the ordinary and really turns it into something extraordinary, unforgettable.
I feel very proud that the media seems to appreciate what I do and what I stand for. And whenever I appear in the media, the name Vietnamese was mentioned a lot, because they always mention me as a Vietnamese supermodel or a Vietnamese entrepreneur. And I think in a way that's how I promote the country where I'm from to the global media, and I feel very proud of it. Showing Vietnam in the eyes of the world is definitely something that I'm very passionate about. I think Vietnam has so many beautiful locations that it's worth promoting. But at the same time, I don't want to just do it for the sake of doing it. I think it is more important to choose just the right venue and the right moment to be able to promote Vietnam in the most effective way. So I cannot wait to reveal that moment. And when it comes, I hope that Vietnamese people will be very happy with my show.
What do you do before choosing a place to visit? Is it a quick online search of the location, places to see, what to eat, things to do? As an incredibly awesome country to explore, Vietnam has something for everyone. But you need to research the places that are best for you beforehand. So if you have never visited Vietnam before and want a heads up, you should definitely catch a few vlogger videos as homework.
Tâm thấy thì travel blogger thật sự là có một cái sức ảnh hưởng rất là lớn, tại vì thường những các bạn travel blogger sẽ đi và mô tả mọi thứ thật sự là chân thực, và nó là một cái cảm nhận mà giống như những người bạn đi và cảm nhận như thế và họ viết lại.
Travel blogger là một công việc rất là thú vị vì có thể đi đến nhiều nơi, tiếp xúc với nhiều văn hóa, gặp được nhiều người khác nhau, và sau đó sẽ dùng những hình ảnh, câu chữ, câu chuyện hay là những video để kể về những trải nghiệm của chính bản thân mình.
Hi, chào buổi sáng tất cả mọi người, mình là Khoai, chào mừng các bạn đến với kênh Khoai Lang Thang. Và sáng nay...
With millions of followers and subscribers, each travel blogger is by default a tourism ambassador. Through their channels, they promote the places they visit. And luckily, numerous domestic and international travel bloggers have shone a light on Vietnam.
Các báo cáo viên có thể check dùm mic và video ạ. Nhàn ạ.
Ok anh Dũng. Em mở video nhưng mà không mở được tại vì host đang dừng cái việc cho phép em mở video.
Đúng rồi, mình cũng bị như vậy. Nhờ host mở dùm cái được phép mở video.
Anh Nhàn, anh quay video lại anh.
Không, mình mở video máy tính camera ấy, mở camera. Nó đang báo không cho mình mở.
Anh mở không được luôn.
Yeah, panelist. Ok. Thanh ơi.
Mở lại đi. Mở lại đi.
Vẫn không được, vẫn chưa được.
Cannot.
Anh sharing không được anh hoặc anh nhỉ?
Tức là mình không mở camera máy tính được.
Bị lock rồi, chưa mở được.
Panelist hình như chưa ai.
Anh Nhàn log out ra, log vô lại đi.
Ok.
Mọi người luôn ngay, Trọng ngay. Anh cũng không được luôn ngay. Mọi người đều không được.
Không được, không ai được hết đấy.
So panelist, please log out and log in again to open video, please.
Vẫn không được. Ok, nhưng mà tí thì mọi người vẫn nghe được đúng không?
Ok, vẫn nghe được nhưng phải có.
Nhưng mà không, em không mở camera được.
Host open camera for everybody.
Không mở được mà.
I cannot. My camera is disabled by the host.
Yes.
Still cannot open the video.
Yes, please wait.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Orang IT tak tahu saya.
Who are host today, Trọng? 110. Who are hot today?
Hôm nay nhà sửa chưa?
Bên đội Thanh có đây không Hà? Thanh hình như đang bận quá.
Sorry, on panelists, yeah, please wait.
Chú bảo mọi người đợi xíu chú.
Sorry, on panelists, but please wait.
Trong thời gian chờ đợi bác Linh check dùm cái mic kìa. Alo bác Linh nghe không ạ?
Dạ em nghe à. Mọi người có nghe rõ không ạ?
Rồi nghe rõ, cảm ơn bác Linh.
Dũng ở cam nữa.
Thấy rồi mở được rồi kìa.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Wei Chen, please
Okay.
check mic. Check mic.
Nice meeting you.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Namaste, sir.
Hello
Hi.
everyone.
Namaste to all.
Yes.
Happy International Friendship Day.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, or on panelists, you can open camera.
Yep.
Can do that. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so sorry. Some problem, a little. Some problem. Bichi, you hear me okay? Yeah, good.
Sawa, hello.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Hold the room for me, for my member.
I will reply to you. I will reply to you shortly.
Okay.
Thank you for your help.
Thank you so much. See you in August, see you in 10 August. Okay, now we can start now. BG, yes.
Hi, everyone from Asia and all over the world. This is CPD Asia, the online continuing professional development platform for Asian radiological technology societies. And hosting the 27th CPD Asia is the Vietnam Association of Radiological Technologists, VART. I am Peachy Luna, your CPD Asia program host. Before we start, allow me to call in the president of Vietnam Association of Radiological Technologists, VART, President Thai Van Loc, to give us his welcome address.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Hi, everybody. Hi. I can speak now, BG.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good afternoon. My warmest welcome college. Come to ASA CPD today. And thank you so much, everyone. You always support for ASA CPD. Thank you so much, organization group like BG and Mark program and everybody. We understand and they work hard for us. Now every month we have ASA CPD. They prepare us a long time. I think we will open more limitation, not only new technology, maybe in next time, not only new technology, but also you can share your training program for RT in your country. You can share your experience in technology in your country. You can share RT psychology or your guideline in your country. I think that in meeting in Asia Australia in Kuching 10 August, we will talk more about in topic in next time in Kuching, Malaysia. For example, today, we will show for you new technology in MRI. This is a very, very new. Maybe not so much case for new technology, but we want to share for you because we want to hear from everybody in Asia, in Asia CPD College, in audience. We want to hear from you. You please share your experience for us, for everybody. Thank you so much. Good health. Good luck for everybody. See you in on president meeting reason in August 10 in Kuching, Malaysia. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome, the VART President Thai Van Loc. We are live streaming on YouTube. You can search PARI and VART channels so you can join us live and or watch a replay. This CPD Asia is highly supported and graced by member societies, presidents, all the officers and their representatives. Let us greet and welcome the President of Macau Radiological Technologists Association, MRTA President Fernando Ko.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
We also have the President of Indonesian Society of Radiographers, PARI, Dr. Giek Sugianto.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. See you again.
We also have the president of Hong Kong Radiographers Association, HKRA, President Wan Shin Boon Nelson.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon.
And also we have the president of Taiwan Association of Medical Radiation Technologists, TAMRT, President Chun Yuan Tu. We also have the Singapore Society of Radiographers, President Denise Chu.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this session of CPD Asia. I'm so thankful and grateful for VART to organize this, and I look forward to seeing everybody in Kuching in August at the AACRT.
Yes, and we also have the president of Malaysian Society of Radiographers, MSR, President Mr. Sawal Marsai.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and see you soon in Kuching on the 10th for the council meeting, and hope to see you all with us for the AACRT in Kuching, Malaysia. Thank you.
Thank you, President Sawal Marsait. We also have the president of Indian Society of Radiographers and Technologists, ISRT, President Salva Kumar.
Very good afternoon to everyone. Happy Friendship Day. Congratulations for Vietnam team for making this good program on MR during the MR safety week period. Happy to know the details. We are eagerly waiting to know the updates on this MR. Thank you.
And thank you. And we also have the president of Association of Cambodian Radiological Technologists, President Sophie Lee.
Thank you, Renance, and hello, all president. Good evening. Thank you for my. See you soon.
Thank you. And we have greetings from the president of Philippine Association of Radiological Technologists. We have President Rolando Bañares, and greetings also from Vice President of Palestinian Association of Medical Radiation Technologists, PAMRT, Vice President Mohammed Abdul Ghani. And we also have from Laos, Mr. Sivile In Thaseng.
Hello, everyone. Thank you.
The CPD Asia has invited also speakers, panelists rather, from different countries. And today we have Chairman of Macau Radiological Technologists Association, Karan Nang. We have Sir Philip Chung of HKRA, Mr. Putu Irma, and Putu Adusanta from Indonesia. And we also have Madam Chan Lai Kwan from Malaysia. Thank you very much, dear presidents and officers, and they will be our panelists, and they will join us again later during the Q&A session. But before we start, may I humbly request everyone to please open your cameras, our presidents, our panelists, speakers, and our moderator for a short photo session. All right, and thank you. Now, to begin the lecture session, allow me to briefly introduce the session moderator. He is Mr. Liu Tri Dong, who is a radiologic technologist and also is the secretary of the Vietnam Association of Radiological Technologists, VART, in Central of Vietnam. Please welcome Mr. Liu Tri Dong.
Thank you, Bichi Luna. Good afternoon, the president, panelists, and the participants. My name is Liu Tri Dong, and today I'm very honored as the moderator to welcome all of you to the 27th Continuous Professional Development held by Vietnam. As you all know, AI technologies have developed very quickly in all areas of life in general, and medical imaging technology in particular. And at this CPD, I would like to introduce three Vietnamese speakers who will present the impressive topic updating artificial intelligence in MRI. We hope that their presentation will provide updating knowledge and interesting insights. Thereby, we look forward to receive many questions and discussion from all of you in Q&A session. Thank you. And for the start, please welcome the first speaker, Mr. Trương Hoàng Nguyen. He is an MR Clinical Application Specialist of GE Healthcare Vietnam. The title of his presentation is AI for Neuroimaging. Please welcome Mr. Nguyen.
Okay, thank you, Nguyen. So, good afternoon, everyone. So, I share my screen first. So, you can see my screen now?
Already, very good.
Okay, so we can start. So, good afternoon, everyone again. So, my name is Nguyen Trương. So, I'm currently working as a MR application specialist for GE Healthcare. It's a really great honor for me today to join the again the 27 CPD for Asia technology. I assume that everyone in the call have some experience with MRI before. So MRI can be briefly defined as we use the strong RF pulse to activate the hydrogen items in the human body, and it helps to create some detail of image of tissue and organ in the human body. So basically, like MRI is one of the main and important indication of neurological pathology involving things like brain, spine, vessel, and also peripheral nerves. So before the born of AI, artificial intelligence, so MRI is on way to try up between the SNR, the scanning time. SNR is a signal to noise ratio, the scanning time, and also the spatial resolution. So today I would like to update how artificial intelligence can just improve the image quality on MRI neurology. So nowadays, the application of AI in imaging in general and MRI in particular is a global trend, and GE is so proud to be a pioneer in applying AI. GE trade name is Eric MDL. So Eric MDL can be explained as a deep learning reconstruction method to it helps to improve the signal to noise ratio. Thereby, we can actually improve the image quality and reducing the scanning time at the same time. So the first Eric MDL versions has been launched. Let me remember. I don't. Maybe in the middle of 2020 with 2D families, and it has so far scanned on many patients, about millions of patients around the world. So you can have a look on the video to see the differences between SNR improvement with Eric MDL. So you can see the noise perfectly reduced by Eric MDL. So it gives you the sharper image. So you know that the advantage of Eric MDL, artificial intelligence in MRI image. So the most obvious benefit of apply AI in MRI is that can help you to build up fast MRI protocol to reach the clinical needs. So because nowadays the number of MRI indication, especially neurological MRI, is increasing dramatically, and I believe that it's happened everywhere on the world. So our job, then the technologist have to change the parameter to shortening the scanning time, right? So it makes sometimes it make the image quality getting down. So that's a good reason why EricMDL can help us to improve the image quality. So beside that, in terms of the patient comfort, it's like it's very uncomfortable for them to stay a very long time in MR examination. I'm not so sure that have you ever experienced yourself to the scanner already or not, but it you should try sometime to get the to understand the patient feeling. So even with some cases the patient cannot like is not cooperative, especially children or elders, so we even cannot complete the scan. That's why we need the hyperspeed protocol, and EricMDL can help us to do that. So an example of EricMDL is shortening the scanning time of head MRI protocol. So this protocol is used on the non-cooperative teenager, 13 years old, with a full set of six sequences, 6 sequences, including the Sagitan T1 with happen 37 seconds. Axial T2 star with 40 seconds, or flare with only 77 seconds. And at this moment, diffusion we just need 28 seconds to complete it. So in total, we only just need 284 seconds for the brain protocol. So, but you can see with a very short scan time, but the spatial resolution is still maintained, in which that the 3D time of flight combined with hyperscan technique. So for your information, time of flight, hyperscan is also known as compressed sensing. So that kind of technique is a form of parallel imaging technique. So it's due to reduce the scanning time while maintaining the SNR and resolution. So another example is fast cervical spine protocol. You can have a look on the image on the screen. So we only need 229 seconds to acquire 4 sequences with the good spatial resolution. As you know that like cervical MRI is very basic protocol, right? It's happen everywhere in every clinical practice, but it requires a lot of cooperation from the patient, because just a small swallowing can cause the motion artifact on the image. So the longer scanning time of each sequence, the greater the possibility of motion artifact. So therefore, with EricMDL, in addition to it's not just only have to increase the image quality. It not just have to improve the image quality, but have to shorten the scanning time and also make the patient more comfortable, because we have them to prevent them to stay too long in the scanner actually. So another benefit of EricMDL is have to improve the image quality in difficult patients. For example, in this case, we can see that this is a big and fat patient with having 149 kg in weight. So there is, if you have experience with MRI before, you always know that there's always a difficulty to ensure image quality on those kinds of patients, because you can see the fat layer here is very thick, so it leads to the long distance from the coil to the anatomy that you want to see. And in this case, this is a lumbar spine. So and the consequence is not we don't have enough signal of lumbar spine to be acquired. So we mostly have to spend a lot of time to make up the loss of SNR, or we have to lose some spatial resolution. But at this moment, like that, sorry. But with EricMDL, it's also help you to the possibility to achieve the expected image quality in a reasonable scan time. So and then I would like to update to you about the extension version of EricMDL that it has just released in late 2022 and early of 2023. It's just a couple months ago. Yeah, before before that, we just have Ericom DL compatible with 2D family. But now Ericom DL right now can be applied on other technique, on other advanced techniques such as like 3D family, DTI, propeller, and even 2D sound and magic. So I can go to any application later. So the first example of application of Ericom DL is on 3D family. So I really excited to wait for this version for a while, because currently, but I'm not sure with another country, but at this in my country here in Vietnam, the request of 3D machine is getting higher and higher, because at this moment the application of 3D sequences in neurological this is very common. Especially in pediatric patients, and also with the neurodegenerative diseases as well. So the example of 3D T1 Mirage combined with the acoustic reduction to reduce the noise. In this case, this happened on the 6-day-old patient. So you can see clearly without Ericom DL on the left, we suffer the low SNR image with a lot of noisy in the brain, right? But with by contrast, in the right side, the image is very sharp and detailed with Ericom DL. So another example of Ericom DL on 3D is on T1 Mirage and 3D T2 flare. So both of them are very important sequences in the evaluation of many types of neuropathy. And even they can be used to quantify the different anatomical regions of the brain, like white matter, gray matter, CSF, and even they can be used to segmentate the abnormal hyperintensity of white matter. So that's it. This very important sequences. So even beside that, the trend of, as I just mentioned, the trend of 3D acquisition is the doctor right now is required to do very small voxel size, isotopic voxel size for 3D imaging, because they want to do 3D imaging on one plane, and then they will do MBR on another plane to see different perspective of lesion. So that's what somehow, especially with 3D flare. So in that case, because of the technical principle, you know that 3D flare require a very long TR and TI, right? So that's the reason that is necessary, because it need to suppress the CSF. So somehow it lead to the increase the scanning time. So in that case, if you get if you get more the small vessel size for 3D flare in normal condition, so there's going to be a trade-off of SNR loss, or the scanning time will be increased. So with Ericom DL, Ericom DL can help effectively maintain the SNR of this sequence, even with the small voxel size. Like you can see an example in the picture, the voxel size is 1 + 1 + 1 mm. This we scan on the AG salvation. You can have a look at, because on the left image you can see a very noisy on the brainstem, right? So, and you can see the improvement with Ericom DL on the right side. Another important sequence that can apply Ericom DL or artificial intelligence is double IR. So this technique is using two kinds of two different RF points to eliminate the CSF and white matter signal. So because when the white matter is spread, this sequence is valuable to detect the white matter abnormalities. So some clinical reports have shown that the double IR, so some clinical, the double IR is even more sensitive than 3D flare in detecting the pathology in multiple sclerosis. However, the drawback of this technique is the SNR very poor, because it have two time of inversion recovery. So it often have to be acquired with a big voxel size to ensure the signal to noise ratio. So currently with this sequence, so with Ericom DL, double A can be acquired with a small voxel size. You can see in the picture 1.1 plus 1.1 plus 1.1 mm. So this is an example. This show a pulse is on 3 years old patient with suspected right cortical dysplasia. Yeah, with a small, very, and the sharpness of the image is very noticed with every computer. Another important sequence of neural protocol is one. So another vendor, they said they call it Y or something. Yeah. So according to the clinical report that I have just read from ISMRM 2023, it just happened a couple of months ago. SWAN is one of the sequences that in the MRI protocol to diagnose the dementia, along with the other 3D imaging like 3D T1 MBRH, 3D T2, and other 3D T2 flare. So now with the help of HyperSense, and as I mentioned before, this is the kinds of parallel imaging technique to reduce the scan time on 3D imaging. And in GE, we also have another option like a ZIP 1024. This is a zero interpolation in GE. So this application, it helps you to reach the inland matrix of your image to the highest 1024. So it means that it will help you to get a SWAN image with a super high resolution in a reasonable scanning time. So you can obviously see the improvement of intracranial vascular, the sharpness of the sharpness of intracranial vascular when we apply with a ZIP 1024 compared to with the ZIP F. Another 3D application is that compatible with Ericom DL now is 3D Cube T1 MSDE. So this technique is used to suppress the blood signal for better contrast of vessel wall. So this technique can combine with fast saturation to differentiate between the blood and fat. So this technique is used before and after gato administration to assess the damage of vessel wall. So you can actually see on the screen the black on the left common carotid artery, which is very well seen on this technique. So in general, the effect of Ericom DL it just happened like on other 3D frequency. So it had to improve the spatial resolution by using small voxel size to better detect the small lesion and also maintaining the SNR. Okay. So the next application is propeller technique. So propeller technique is the technique have to control the motion artifact because of its usefulness. So during my application training for my customer, so I always try to use this technique as much as possible, especially for sensitive areas like cervical spine or thoracic spine or pediatric brain. So to have to mitigate the motion artifact from patient breathing or the patient non-cooperative flow from the vessels. So, however, the limitation of the technique is the scanning time is longer than the conventional fast pinnacle technique. So, but now with Ericom DL help, I believe that the propeller will be an effective solution to acquire motion sensitivity areas like in general or and the nervous system in particular, and it will be like more effective with on high field system like a 3T on the board, because you all know that the 3T system now very popular not only in my country but also everywhere in the world. So but with a higher field strength, the motion artifact is even worse. So that's why propeller is gonna be a very good solution with Ericom DL. Another improvement on AI on neurology protocol is DISOM technique. So how to say, DISOM technique principles is one of the fast suppression technique is based on it's based on the data acquisition at multiple TE time. Then we use the reconstruction algorithm to proceed to create the water only and fat only maps. So the advantage of this technique is that it has to saturate fat better than the conventional facet. So the application of this technique is used for to remove fat at a difficulty region like orbit or inner ear or nectar tissue. So, however, the drawback of this technique is we suffer is a long echo spacing. So, for your information, that when we use fast spin echo technique, we have a long echo trench behind echo 1, echo 2, echo 3. So, the space between two echo if we call echo spacing. With the long echo spacing, we have the drawback of your image gonna be blurred, so blurring. So to overcome that kinds of drawback, so we need to increase the receiver bandwidth to shorten the echo spacing. But when you increase the receiver bandwidth, so the SNR going to be rough, so there is it then affect directly on the image quality. So therefore, with the compatibility with ARRICOM-DL, so it have a lot to make up the SNR loss for improve the image quality. The next application of artificial intelligence is on diffusion family. So diffusion is one you see that everyone agree that diffusion is very important, right? So diffusion is one of the most basic and extremely important technique in neurological disease and even cancer. So it can be applied in most of neurology in neurology protocols. So because of its technique specificity, the spatial resolution of this technique is usually low, very low, as well as the signal to noise ratio. It also not very good. So that's why ARRICOM-DL with ARRICOM-DL is have to improve the SNR, but also to ensure that to get the diffusion image with a small vessel size. In this case, I can show you that the vessel size in this detected is 2 + 2 + 2 mm. It just happened in 68 seconds, but you can see the difference with the conventional one. You see a noisy image, but with ARRICOM-DL, the SNR is improved a lot. Beside that, ARRICOM-DL can compatible now with another diffusion variant like focus diffusion. So focus diffusion is this technique it help to improve the spatial resolution to observe a small anatomy. So you can see with ARRICOM-DL, the small anatomy is much improved. Especially like brainstem in this example, cervical spinal cord. You can see the differences in the image. Other than that, ARRICOM-DL is now compatible with diffusion propeller. So before that, I just only have applied the technique by the actual plan to focus on inner ear only to investigate the abnormalities. But because this diffusion propeller is based on the fast binnacle technique, so it's less sensitive to the susceptibility artifact compared to conventional EBI diffusion. However, the disadvantage of this technique is that when we acquire with the coronal and sagittal plane, the time will be gonna be very long to control the relevant artifacts as well as maintaining the SNR. But now with ARRICOM-DL, I am confident that I can acquire this kind of technique in any different scanning plan in any oblique to see the anatomy that we would like to see. Yeah. In addition, the extension of ARRICOM-DL is now compatible with DTI. So according to the a scientific report that I have just read on the U.S. National Library of Medicine about the current clinical application for DTI in neurological diseases, is published in 2018. So its application is including in different disease like multiple sclerosis, Parkinson disease, dementia, epilepsy, and stroke, even with a traumatic traumatic brain. So the application is very becomes wider and wider. So in my country here in Vietnam, so in some big medical center, they apply this technique to evaluate before and after brain surgery in brain tumor, and in some in hemorrhage disease. So they usually use this technique to see how the lesion impact on the neurofiber. So then they use the DTI data to put in the robots to and then the robots will simulate surgery to remove the tumor, so that it has the least impact on the neurofiber to reduce the complication after surgery. So that's the reason I want to increase the clinical practice of the technique. So this technique, it will come more and more common, popular nowadays. It's not just it's not only on the research anymore. So similarly to the diffusion technique, DTI is also based on the Brown motion of water molecules. So the disadvantage of this technique is also low resolution, less FNR, and with especially with when we use with the high B values, sensitive to the susceptibility artifact. So in this case, Eric MDL can help to improve a lot the SNR, so we can actually have a look on the image. Without Eric MDL, we can see a lot of noise in the brain, but with Eric MDL, we can see the SNR improve, so we can see better view of the color or orientation, better view. So it with the better view of color orientation, it helps you to easy to find out the fiber to track. Yeah. So another AI compatible application in Magic. So I know that Magics were introduced for a while, because in my country here in Vietnam, there are only few clinical center having this application. So that's why many people just know that the main value of Magic is one acquisition, and to get and after that we get a multiple contrast such as like a T2, T1, BD, flare, stir, or BSIR. However, Magic can give us more than that with like quantitative values like on the T1 mapping, T2 mapping, BD mapping. And as you all know that the quantitative MRI is currently a clinical trend. You if you ever heard that, because for example, like we are doing quantify the T1, T2, T2 time relaxation time to in the myocardium disease. We quantify the T1, T2 values of the cartilage disease in FSK, and then with the multiple parameter quantitative MRI for the brain is also in the research orientation in recent years. So there are several studies using Magic to quantify the presence of myelin and edema in the brain. They just use the Magic with to get the mapping of T1, T2, and BD. So, however, we have the drawback of this technique because we the low spatial resolution. So sometimes the image quality is quite blurring. So in this case, the most obvious effect of Eric MDL help to improve the sharpness of the Magic by increasing the in-plane matrix. So, but without the trade-off of the loss of SNR. Okay, so the last application I would like to share about today is Mensa sequence for MRI peripheral nerve. Previously, for study of brachioplastic imaging and lumbosacral plexus imaging. We were just done with the 3D T2 fascinacle with facet, especially with stir or distance. So the disadvantage of this method is that the image are easily contaminated the signal from the lymph node and the vessel, the small vessels. So that might confuse them with the signal of the nerve that we need to investigate. So that there are some that is why there are some recommendation for when we're doing this technique is that we should perform after Gado injection to make the T1 relaxation time of plus degrees closer to the T1 effect. It helps to better separate the signal from the small vessel. So thereby it helps you to increase the contrast between the nerve and the surrounding tissue. However, right now we also have a new technique with Mensa standby for the multi-echo instead of tech acquisition. The technique is based on the multi-echo radiant echo data acquisition at different echo times. So it helps to better eliminate the slow flow signal from small vessel. So compared to the conventional 3D fast-spin echo. So right now Mensa is also compatible with Eric of the L, so it helps to eliminate the background noise. So it's thereby it's increase the sharpness of the nerve. You can see the improvement in the nerve sharpness of the lumbosacral plexus and any like the peripheral nerve of the MSK. Okay, so that's my last slide. Okay, that's on my update for today. And because allergy is slogan that is not the end, but it's just the beginning. And I believe that RCMDL or artificial intelligence will keep continuously improving on more and more application, not only for neurology, but also for another region like body imaging, cardiac imaging, MSK, and so on. So it helps us to gain the confidence, like the technical confidence for us, for our technology, and also for radiology, and also provide the best outcome for the patient. So thank you so much for listening to me today. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you to Nguyen for your and updating this information about AI for neuroimaging. Your presentation is benefits by update techniques and application by AI named Air Recon DL. Yeah, it seems a new solution for the children, elder, or the incorporation patient. Yeah, with reduce scanning time, but keep a good imaging quality. So thank you again to Mr. Chan. And you all can use the Q&A box in Zoom or comment online YouTube VART to make the question. We will synthesize and send to speaker in the Q&A session. And not take to the Indonesia, Mr. Butu Adi, and also again other countries like Macau, Mr. Makaram. Please send the question of your country to our box Q&A session. We use to send them to the speaker in the Q&A session. Thank you for. And now we will come to the second speaker. Please welcome the Mr. Wei Chen. He's a clinical marketing and pre-platform product manager. MR Siemens Healthineer Asian. And the title of his presentation is Shaping the Next Generation MRI with Deep Result. Please welcome Mr. Chen.
Thank you very much. Just want to do a quick check. Can you see my screen? I just share my screen. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Wei. Thank you so much for inviting me to this event. I'm very honored to be here to share some of the news for the artificial intelligence, more specifically in the DLR, deep learning reconstruction. So I think this is one of the exciting area that we all are very excited. I think just want to share with you, when I started MR back to 2017, and our CT colleagues sitting behind me always saying that's why MR taking so long time, right? So for CT scan, they take less than a minute or 5 minutes, they can bring the patient in and out, let the patient go. But for MR radiographers, they have to sit in front of the scanners for 30 minutes to let the scan finish, right? So there was a joke a long time ago saying, okay, let's guess when can MR be as fast as CT one day. I think I did not expect this dream. Actually, this joke came true so soon. I think now MR, the scan speed is really fast with artificial intelligence. So that's exactly the topic of my presentation today. Is artificial intelligence, more specifically, is in the image reconstruction, is going to reshape the next generation MR. So we all have to relearn what MR we used to know. So yeah, so why we have to relearn what we used to know about MR here, as you can see on these slides. Probably you are very well aware, if you're doing MR scans, you know we have this classic triangle. One is on the image resolutions. Whenever you want to increase the image resolution, that means you take more time for the data acquisitions, simply translate into a longer scan time. Also at the same time, your SNR, signal to noise ratio, when you want to make scan faster, then you don't have enough time to acquire enough data to give you good signal to noise ratio. Yeah, so you compromise on the image quality. Another part is acquisition time. Yeah, so whenever you want to increase resolution or you want to increase your SNR, your acquisition time always increase, right? So this is one of the very classic triangle. I think nowadays, if we teach the younger radiographers about MR, probably we are still teaching them about this relationship for the triangle. This triangle has been putting limits on us for so long, right? Since 1978, the first whole body 1.5D system introduced to the market, we have been always guided by this rule. Not long ago, probably around 10 years ago, when compressed sensing came out, this triangle was, however, somehow being distorted in certain way, but we are still pretty much guided or limited by this triangle until the introduction of artificial intelligence. So I think we are completely break free from this triangle, right? So what can artificial intelligence, particularly in Siemens, we call a deep resolve. I will introduce the solutions from Siemens Healthineers in a short while in next slides. As mentioned just now, what AI in the deep reconstruction does is they can help us to improve SNR. So do the denoising so that we can have a high SNR images. Also, the AI will also can train it to help us to increase the image resolution. So probably you know there's just like Mr. Nguyen just now mentioned about image reconstruction to increase the image resolution. He mentioned about the zip technique. Also, in the more generic name is a zero filling method. Simply, what does this mean is that you acquire a relatively a smaller data sets, fill the center key space, but you want to increase the matrix of the key space, double it, but you only acquired so-called small amount of data. What to do with the surrounding data? You simply fill it with zero. You're still able to do the image reconstruction and give you a higher, artificially higher image resolution. We call this interpolations. This has been used in the past, but however, AI has been also being implemented instead of just fill the outer key space with zero, we now ask AI to give us a more appropriate data to fill the outer key space so that we can yield a better results than the interpolation or zero filling technique. So that's something I want to share with you. So with all that, as you can see, with SNR increase or denoising by the AI, what does it translate to the benefits to the daily routine, day-to-day workflow when you have so many patients? You are able to simply make the scan much faster, and at the same time, you are also able to increase the image quality. So as just now the triangle, it seems like magical, right? So it's contradictory to the triangle that I just introduced. We are able to make the scan 73% faster, increase the resolution 2 times, but we are still getting a very even better image than the conventional image. So that is what the AI is able to deliver to us. The benefits it translates into. Okay, so let me introduce the AI solutions from Siemens Healthineers. The whole AI family, we call it a deep resolve family. It consists of 4 applications. The first application is a deep resolve gain. Second one is deep resolve sharp. Third one is deep resolve boost. And the last, but not the least, is the deep resolve swift brain. So these 4 applications we have this package. So let me introduce them one by one to tell you why we came out with a different application utilizing artificial intelligence, right? So the first one is called deep resolve gain. So basically for this one, what is this all about? As we all know that noise is random. Whenever we acquire MR images, the source of image is coming from the patients. But that's not the whole story of the noise. Also, the noise may come from the coil you're using, whether you are using a phase array coil, whether this overlap between the coil elements, and also at the same time, whether you are using a parallel imaging techniques, which all contributes to the noise. This noise actually is able to quantify it. We're able to actually, along with the MR data acquisition, you are also able to generate the noise map. It's just like when we do the normalization or so-called signal intensity, we're actually able to do some pre-scans to quantify that amount of noise map coming from the coils, right? So now we're able to use this targeted noise map approach, feeding the MR data together with the noise map into an iterative reconstruction process to help us to do the denoising. So probably this iterative process, you are a bit familiar with the compressed sensing, as that is the first time introduced in the image reconstruction. So what it does is that in the compressed sensing, you have to do the iterative, you need to translate into the wavelet domain. Then in the wavelet domain, you do the denoising. After that, you just want to make sure the amount of data you take out from the noise, take out from images is not something that useful, right? This compressed sensing idea works fantastically for the 3D case space, can be a 3D scans or can be a 2D plus a time domain or time resolve scans. However, for a 2D scans, right, because 2D case space, how big it is, after parallel imaging, it left a very small little, but after that, you still want to accelerate the acquisitions. Basically, you don't have much of the case space line acquired for you to do this consistency check. So here come to a very important idea for Siemens Healthineers. When we introduce artificial intelligence into our products, the most key thing is we want to make sure the output of images is consistent, is 100% consistent with acquired data. Basically, which means we don't want the algorithm to generate something non-existent or something that's something is existence, but we make it. So we basically do a lot of this type of data consistency check to make sure the output of the images is aligned with the reality, right? So back to the noise map. The noise map, we also, after the denoising, since the acquired lines actually is limited for 2D scans, but now we have this noise map. We can just compare the noise we remove from the images during this denoising process with the noise map, and to see how much difference. If the noise we take out from the images coincides, agrees with the noise map we had before, then we say, okay, this denoising is reliable, right? So we can trust this image. So that is what deep resolve gain does. Basically, it is using a localized targeted noise methods to help us to still using the iterative, like a bit like a compressed sensing, but on top of that, we simply make the consistent check more reliable and trustful. Yeah. So what's cool about it? So this is the very first time in the industry we introduced the local variation of the noise. Yeah, basically that is a variation due to the coil configurations due to the parallel imaging. Secondly, we broaden the applications for the 2D use, right? So this is the benefits for this technique. Simply we're able to remove the noise, increase NR. So what does that mean? Translate into a faster scans. So this is a deep resolve gain industry first ideas to use a noise map along the acquisition with the AMAR data. So we are able to do that. Okay. So just want to show some comparison. Image on the left, conventional scans without the deep resolving iterative denoising. Right one is right side with the noise reduction. So you can see that the noise actually is coming, it has been removed, right? If you just look at the frontal cortex of the brain, they are more clear now, right? So, but this is just a apple-to-apple comparison. We did not do any of the clinical benefits translations. Basically means we can make it scan faster, still having a good image quality, right? So this is what deep resolve gain does. Second, we also have this deep resolve sharp, and this is a very, very interesting. As mentioned just now, artificial intelligence, most of the companies in the industry is just thinking about how do we let AI to recognize the noise to do the denoising. And people say, okay, I can make my scan sharper or high resolution, but in what trade-off? Basically, what it does means most of our players is simply just increase the so-called the resolution. So by having a higher resolution, but without adjusting any parameters, what happens is that when you increase the matrix or resolution, you are having a very noisy images. So the AI has to work extremely hard on the very noisy images, right? So that means the AI has a tough job to do the denoising. But for us, what we did differently is that we simply don't let AI just do the denoising. This is a very tough job. We also train our AI to help to increase the resolution to make the image sharper, create a resolution. So basically, here is a very dedicated deep learning neural network we introduced. We have tons of data has trained because we have the data when the objects we acquire low resolution. We also acquire with a high resolution. Then we put them as a pair and use it to train the AI. So basically, the AI knows where to expect a sharper detail to increase the resolution. So after the AI is trained, algorithm is finalized. So that means now we're able to put in a low resolution images into the AI, deep learning neural networks, and the AI will automatically make the line sharper, increase the resolution, and making a better image, right? However, this again, Siemens is very cautious about the outcome of our output images. We do not simply trust whatever AI give us. We want to make sure this consistent with acquired. Although we know we have trained this algorithm using tons of data, but however, we still do rigorous consistency check. So basically, with the output images, we convert it back to the case space. We continue check with our acquired lines to see whether there's any difference. Also, second check is that we want to make sure the original data is still sitting in the center of the key space, but the outer parts of the key space is from the AI. So basically, the AI converted images, so that we are still using the original data in the key space by just the outer key space instead of using the zero filling. Now we are basically using this AI trained methods to fill it. Other than zero, mean more appropriate data to make it more trustful. So that is something very exciting. Now with the deep resolve sharp basically means we simply do not need to put all the stress on the AI to let him do a very tough job to do denoising, because when you just increase the resolution and make the image super noise to a certain point, AI is not able to do the job anymore. So for us, we accelerate scan, make the image noisy, right? No problem. Our Later I will introduce another denoising. We have two denoising methods. You're able to do denoising. After denoising, it's able to help us to increase resolution. So you can see the reliability or redundant. I mean, basically, the success rates or reliability will be much higher because we don't just putting the acceleration on one thing, right? So you just like probably if you're familiar with comparison sensing in the past or a parallel imaging, if you put all your acceleration on parallel imaging, you will get lousy image. If you put all acceleration on the comparison, you'll get lousy images. But what people do in the past, you always combine parallel imaging and comparison sensing, right? So appropriate parallel imaging acceleration, appropriate comparison sensing, when times you can use a very nice acceleration but give you a very good result. I think the idea here is also the same. You need to marriage between the denoising at the same time also increase the image resolution. So two hands, so that give you a better outcome. So this is something that I'm spending a bit more time to explain because this is quite unique in the industry now because I think Siemens Healthiday is the only one is working AI towards this direction. Okay, so what problem we are trying to solve? Basically, as you know, we just want to have a high resolution. But conventionally, when you have high resolution, automatically you will have a longer scan time, right? So with the deep resolve sharp, yeah, you are able to have a higher resolution, but also fast scan time at the same time. Here, later you will see some image. There's also clever combinations. Our deep resolve boost I will introduce in a short while. And SMS multi-band simultaneous multi-slice, all can be combined together. So, like mentioned earlier, if you just stress on one technique to accelerate, probably you are getting a very poor image quality. But if you just marriage all the different techniques together, you will get very impressive result. Here you can see when you scan 7 seconds, right? But later on, I will show you more example. Okay. So this is the deep resolve sharp. As you can see, left side is conventional. Basically, is using a zero filling technique. And right side is using the artificial intelligence to giving us a data field in the outer key space, but still we are utilizing the original data in the center key space. So you can see the resolution, basically the sharpness of the line of the cerebellum has been much better delineated here. Okay, so let me introduce you another very exciting application we call deep resolve boost. Yeah. So as I mentioned just earlier, so deep resolve again is utilizing this a noise map based on the coil elements. Yeah, so do an iterative process to do the denoising. But deep resolve boost is artificial intelligence deep neural network trained algorithms. So basically, for this deep resolve AI trained denoising methods, we also again probably you are already very familiar because many players in the market is claiming they have trained their AI networks to do the denoising. But what I want to assure you is in Siemens, what we do differently is also the same thing. We always have to ask, can I trust AI? So that is the most fundamental things, right? So again, for this one, we know the AI can be very powerful. We can put in whatever lousy image into the algorithm and output get a very nice image quality. But again, can you trust it? Secondly, is that you know, in the past, for the radiologists, they are trained to read all these artifacts, right? So radiologists actually has been very used to lousy image. Even lousy images, they can read through what underlying pathology behind artifacts, because artifact is recognizable. You can easily recognize all these artifacts, no problem. Yeah, so it will not causing any misdiagnosis or false positive or whatever. Yeah, so but however, in the AI era, the artifact will not look like artifact at all. You're just looking at very beautiful images, don't see anything there, but in the end, you might miss a diagnosis from AI algorithm, right? So for us, you can see we are not just simply using AI and train it to do all the denoising to making very noisy images to something not noisy. For every time we do a one denoising, we always have to do a rigorous consistency check. We want to make sure after the AI has done the denoising, we want to look at the key space and comparing to the original raw data space and make sure that everything is consistent. If there's any errors, we have to redo this process. So for the AI, do this, for deep result boost, we have to go through this iterative reconstruction process. Every iterations, we always do this consistent check to make sure that the output of final images is really reliable. So that's something that I want to highlight here. We always have to have this in our mind. Do not anyhow trust AI images, and unless you know what is the algorithm underlying how it works, and then you can trust this AI algorithm, right? So for what's cool about this deep result boost is that we give our user 3 tastes. You can make it a denoising, weak, or medium, or high. Yeah. So based also for this AI algorithm, we train in different body parts. We are not saying we only train one neural network for the whole body. No, for the brain, we have also thousands of data has trained. Just want to make just for the head, just for one particular scans. Also, same thing for the abdomen, knee, ankle, right? So the neural network is specifically trained for each body region. Also, every time we do very rigorous consistency check, make sure there's nothing has been added or removed from the images, right? So this is something that I want to highlight. Again, deep result boost is one of AI denoising methods. With SNR increase, you can translate into a highly accelerated scans, faster scan time and things, right? So later on I will show some image. Just want to show you with the deep resolve boost, this artificial intelligence trained denoising network. So you can see a standard T2 brain scans from 2 minutes and 12 seconds. We can easily make it a quarter of the scan time. So, but if you compare the image quality between left and right, you definitely will see a better image quality, but scan time at only a quarter of the original scans, right? So that's what things has really changed for the AMA. Okay, so we are not just stopping here. The last package in this deep resolve family is the Swift Brain. Basically, what is Swift Brain? So simply, we want to make AMA play more frontline role in the so-called emergency stroke case management. As we probably know, the stroke management always CT come to frontline, and because you can do the thrombolization, you can reverse a stroke process within certain time frame. But however, due to the unavailability and slow speed of MR scan, MR is not always be the upfront modalities for the stroke patient management. You will always go to CT. But however, study has shown that MR actually sometimes is better than CT, because we have a very high sensitivity diffusion images. You can understand where area has been affected due to the stroke event, right? So after that, you can quickly go to the NG room to do the thrombolization process, right? But due to the slow previous scan speed, MR wasn't favored. Yeah, so we simply developed this Swift Brain. So previously, the AI was involved on so-called single application or sequence level, but now we put AI onto a protocol level. So basically, this is a dedicated protocol specifically designed on fast stroke response scans. Basically means here in the title you see all the sequence necessary critical sequences used for the stroke imaging, everything performed under 2 minutes, right? So one of the things that we have implemented, we have used a very different approach, multi-echo EPI, to scan, and also implemented this artificial intelligence to really give a push to make the scan faster. So that the T2 and T2 star actually was created by one sequence, but the scan time itself is only take about 25 seconds, right? So this is let me show you on next slides what you could expect on this AI implementation on the protocol level. So you can see the whole essential sequence for the stroke imaging is only take about 1 minute and 58 seconds, And you can see we have this simultaneous acquisition, T2 star and T2 acquisition actually from one single multi-echo API sequence. Why it can be achieved so fast? Because there's an AI algorithm built in to make the scan faster. So also, as you can see, for the T2 dark fluid, basically this is a flare sequence. Traditional, as you know, flare sequence always take long time if you're based on the turbo spin echo sequence, due to you need to have a long TR to have enough spin relaxations to make the fluid to be suppressed. For this one, we also apply the EPI approach, because EPI will have a much faster acquisition and fast relaxation, so that we are able to acquire minutes of flare sequence, basically have a perfect tissue suppression in this case. And for the diffusion sequence, we also use a simultaneous multi-slice. You can see complete this entire sequence is only under 2 minutes. But to achieve to this amount speed, actually there's a lot of work and innovation has been put into this protocol, right? So that's something I want to just highlight to you. So then this probably just an overview on how does these 4 applications in the package works individually. But let's put them together and see what we could expect with all these artificial intelligence applications. It's really eye-blowing, eye-opening experience. So let me show you this prostate examination, probably for the parametric prostate examination. But you can see the total scan time, 3 high-res T2 scans with a diffusion. All right, so the total scan time is only 3 minutes and 52 seconds, right? So for this amount of time in the past, you probably only can perform a 1 T2 high-resolution scan. But now with this scan, you are able to perform 3 plane and plus the diffusion. So you can see the XT2 with a super high in-plane resolution, the scan time is only 53 seconds. Coronal is only 49 seconds, and so same as the sagittal. So this is what really artificial intelligence now is able to make our scan super fast. We can never imagine this a few years ago. Looking at the MSK finger scans, for these scans, we are not just use deep resolve. We also combine with our simultaneous multi-slice turbo spin echo. Simply, we are able to use this special excitation pulse. We can simultaneously excite 2 or 3 or 4. Conventional excitation only slice by slice, right? But for simultaneous slice, we're able to do this amount parallel excitation, not parallel imaging. Okay, so this is I think currently still quite unique to Siemens Healthineers. So basically you can see with all that for finger scans, right? You can see finger hand scans, 40 seconds for a PD and 37 seconds for PD facet, with a very high good resolutions of axial scans. You can see only merely 30 seconds. So this is really something that we could not imagine how fast MR has become. Okay, another scans on the shoulder. You can see conventionally 3 minutes and 43 seconds for a PD T2 facet. Yeah, so pretty quite so-called standard acquisitions. But now with the deep resolve package, you can see we are able to getting a much better image quality. If you look at the cartilage, if you look at the all the tendons, so the image is much better, but the scan time is only 1 minute and 15 seconds. Looking at some of the conventional scans, lumbar spine scans, 1 minute 45 seconds, but now we can easily, this is not so-called pushing to the limit. This is just a standard use. Every sequence you can expect under 1 minute should be roughly around 30 seconds to 40 seconds. That's the reality now with artificial intelligence. Previously, one MR sequence roughly take about 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes was acceptable. But now I think it is 30 to 40 seconds. That's considered acceptable. When it comes to the breast imaging, also you can see, but I believe this is another case that has accelerated to the extreme. Original scan take about 4 minutes and 31 seconds, but with artificial intelligence deep resolve, it's become 2 minutes and 25 seconds. But to me, I think there's still quite a lot of room. We can really push the scan speed. Also, probably this is my last slide. Just want to show you a single high resolution heap examinations with deep resolve. So all the scan time is quite amazing. But however, I believe there's still some rooms to accelerate, but we are just want to take care of the image quality at same time as the scan time speed kind of things, right? So yeah, so with that, I just want to conclude my presentation here. So with artificial intelligence, MR is really become something very different from a few years ago. And we always have to relearn what we used to know. And now is a good time. And with that, thank you very much. And if you have any questions, please feel free to drop to the chat or reach out to me. Happy to answer any other question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Wei Chen, for your presentation. We can say that the how AI affects that medical imaging technologies. You can use AI to deep learning and reconstruction to result very deep resolution.
Yep.
So it's her name deep learning, deep results. It's very benefit to your patient and also the technology too. Thank you, to Mr. Chen.
Okay, thank you.
As last one, the last presentation, we will please welcome to Dr. Nguyen Hồ Trúc Linh. He's a radiologist at MRI department at Medical Center in Ho Chi Minh City. The title of her presentation is MRI proton density fraction. Welcome to Dr. Linh.
Good afternoon, everyone. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Linh. I'm a radiologist working in MRI department, Medical Center, Ho Chi Minh City. This is also my first time to be here in our conference, and also my great honor for me to be here, although that's the first time, but as a speaker. So today, I would like to share with all of you about a new technique that has just applied in our country, Vietnam, especially in our medical center. Although it's not a quite new technique with other developed countries, but so far it's the most advanced technique in the quantification of liver fat through using magnetic resonance imaging proton density fraction technique. And furthermore, I want to share a little bit about our practical experience about this technique. So first of all, to start my presentation, I would like to say a little bit about brief overview about non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is abbreviated as NAFLD, has a global prevalence of 25% and refers to the abnormal accumulation of triglycerides within hepatocytes, which affects people who drink little or no alcohol. And NAFLD comprises two main phenotypes. The first phenotype is non-alcoholic fatty liver, which is abbreviated to NAFL, and is thought to have little histological progression over time. And the second phenotype is also the most severe phenotype in non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, which means NASH for short, which is a leading cause of cirrhosis and hepatocellular carcinoma. It means HCC for short. This picture shows us the most severe progressions of hepatic steatosis. Hepatic steatosis can lead to steatohepatitis, and the end of this severe progression leads to cirrhosis and or XCC. So, patients with NAFLD have increased overall mortality than the general population, with cardiovascular complications being the leading cause of death, followed by metabolic and liver-related causes. Due to the clinical burden of NAFLD, TECHNOLOGIST for quantification of liver fat always plays a very important role for the diagnosis and monitoring of NAFLD. To diagnose hepatic steatosis, we have two ways. The first is invasive techniques, which is known as kind of biopsy, and non-invasive techniques, which is they are known as ultrasound, CT scan, and MRI. During the past 2 decades, non-invasive imaging-based methods for the evaluation of hepatic steatosis have been developed and disseminated. And MRI-PDFF is currently considered the most accurate method for quantifying liver fat. First, I want to say a little bit about invasive method. Invasive methods is known as kind of biopsy and is still the gold standard ever. Although it's the gold standard for diagnosis liver fat, but it also has a lot of disadvantages. The first disadvantage is complications, of course, because it's an invasive procedure. And it also depends on the sampling error due to small foci of the biopsy, especially the heterogeneous area. And one more important limitation that is impracticality for periodic and repeated evaluation of fatty liver. And along with the development of invasive method, we have ultrasound, CT scan, and MRI. And let's have a look about these three methods. First, I want to say a little bit about ultrasound. Ultrasound, of course, it has some evidence, like it's very safe, it's very cheap and widely available. But also its disadvantages is just an indirect measurement or it inaccurate for my steatosis cases, inaccurate steatosis grading, or it has some limitation with obese cases, fibrosis cases. And of course, CT scan is the more developed method than ultrasound. It's easy to perform, it's straightforward, analyze it, it's quantitative. But the same with ultrasound disadvantages, it also just an indirect measurement. It's also inaccurate for my steatosis cases and also have some limitation with overloaded iron and glycogen cases. And the last method, I want to say that MRI-PDFF. MRI can improve almost disadvantages of ultrasound and CT scan because the first thing is direct measurement. Especially it's highly sensitive and specific with even my steatosis cases. Besides that, it also has some disadvantages like it's not suitable for patients who have the syndrome of claustrophobia or patients who have inflatable devices. In this chart, we can see the comparisons of non-invasive methods. Ultrasound, CT scan, and MRI, we can see that it maybe have a high sensitivity and specificity in severe steatosis cases. But with my steatosis, only MRI have high sensitivity and specificity. And a research of the Department of Radiology in University of California in USA said that MRI for detecting myelofibrosis, especially with the biopsy result under 5% with sensitivity and specificity, even ranging to 95 and 97 respectively. So what is MRI proton density fraction? Unlike ultrasound and CT scan, which measures steatosis by proxy, MRI measures the signal intensity of proton that's different resonance frequencies, and the liver fat signal generated through PDFF imaging is due almost entirely to protons in triglycerides, which make up virtually all of the pathological fat accumulation in hepatic steatosis. And how to do an MRI PDFF? To do MRI PDFF with the GE MRI machines, we use a sequencing named Ideal IQ. So what is Ideal IQ sequencing? Ideal IQ is a one-click application that provides volumetric liver fat fraction measurements in just a single threshold. It is also useful for patients who have liver iron concentration, a precursor for liver disease. And Ideal IQ means 3-point Dixon technique, and it produced the first is triglyceride fat fractions images, and the second is R2 maps in addition to portal and triglyceride fast images. And today we just focus on triglyceride fat fraction images. And I want to say again about condition to be evaluated means with patient who can come with us and can do an MRI PDFF. That's the patient which has hepatic steatosis disease or many hepatic and systemic disorders such as NAFLD, NASH, diabetics, and XCC. And how to do an Ideal IQ to GE machine. That's the first. It is always perform ideal molecule non-conscious agent. It acquires in only one threshold. Its limitation max TE no higher than 200 microseconds. Limit equal spacing between 1.5 and 1.9, and usually a high bandwidth low metric. Use a low flip angle to avoid T1 bias. And remember that one important thing is we have to avoid artifacts such as metal implants. And after checking the patient's liver, we have sliced it, and then we will place multiple rods over the liver sample right and left lobes of the liver. And we have to rods at least 2 in representative region. And each rod should be at least 2 centimeter radius, ideally length. And rod average value of fat fraction image is percentage. And remember to avoid length vasodilated by those or obvious image artifact when drawing. And here is the reference scores of Ideal IQ sequencing. With the patients who have the value under 6%, we rate 0. With the patient from 6 to under 26.2 is rate 1. And from 26.2 to under 36.9 is grade 2. From 36.9 to over is grade 3. And you can see it's very easy to quantify the fatty liver. And this is also the color mapping that GE machine can support us. And this very useful for clinicians who's not radiologists or patients who can easily to understand about their quantification. And I want to say a little bit about our initially experience of this new technique. We already checked in 294 patients, including 170 male and 140 female, aged from 19 to 81 years old, who visited medical center and were assigned MRI to measure liver fat within 8 months from October 14, 2022 to 14, 2023. And of course, we're using ideal IQ pool sequencing on the GE Signal Explorer 1.5 technique. And we use 4 different voids in the liver to quantify the overall hepatic fat infiltration. And this is the patient's position that's fit in first. And you can see the ideal IQ sequencing is just in one breath hold and about 18 seconds. And after we check the liver, then the machine itself also helps us to quantify the liver fat. And here the screen and then we can draw 4 rows, and the result of 4 rows is at the right corners of the picture. And then we can count the average value. For example, in this patient, the average value is 9.3%. And after that, we can see in the reference score that's 9.3% is grade 1 steatosis. Another patient with the same types, and the average value is 45.1%, and that's grade 3 steatosis. And here's our result after we check about 284 patients. And this is also our color mapping. So in conclusion, MR-PDFF is currently the most advanced technique, non-invasive without the need for contact injections, and is performed very quickly with just one breath hold. This is a reliable technique to evaluate the degree of hepatic fat infiltration, especially in patients with uneven hepatic fat area. And the most important thing that it can replace unnecessary liver biopsy method that causes many complications. And why it can replace unnecessary liver biopsy? Because it has very high sensitivity and specificity, even if patient with very mild liver fat infiltrations under 5% on liver biopsy. And before I finish my presentation, I want to give a recommendation from Radiological Society of North America. RSNA recommend us that with any patients who come with us with an abnormal liver function test or incidentally finding of steatosis on imaging department like ultrasound result, CT scan or MRI, and with clinical suspicion for NAFLE hiding, then we can do a combination of liver MRI protocol. That's the combination of MRI PDFF to quantify the liver fat. The second sequence you can do that T2 weighted to detect the tumor or lesion in liver. And another is MR elastography to quantify the stiffness of the liver tissue. And we can see if we do the combinations of, so in conclusion that MRI-PDFF can be carried out simultaneously with liver elastography to quantify liver fibrosis, with a total scan time of just under 7 minutes, helping to combine monitoring and evaluation of treatment response in NAFLD patients. And we can combine with abdominal MRI to detect the liver lesional tumor. So we can see the combination of MRI, PDFF, and MR elastography with the time of threshold is just about 6 times, and the total time is even under 3 minutes. Then we can quantify the liver fat and the stiffness of liver tissue. And then that is my presentations, and thanks for all of your attention.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Linh. Yes, very valuable presentation from you. Yeah, you present the new technique for liver fat fraction measurement and non-evasion, important non-evasion, and yes, many benefits for patient. But I think that is a new techniques, and I hope that you will receive more the question and will more the sharing from Vietnamese participant and other country to this topic. Again, thank you so much. And thank you so much to three speakers. Very well in presentation and to bring us to the good knowledge and update the knowledge about AI, neuroimaging. And again, now we will move to the Q&A session. Before that, I would like to invite all of your participants to get questions for our Q&A part, and I will transfer to the speaker. And firstly, I would like to invite panelists the question and make the question to the speaker, please.
I have an idea. Is it okay?
Yes, please.
Okay. The first panelist first. After that, you answer. You please give in some speaker some in chat box. I saw in chat box have some question. The first, congratulations and thank you so much, pre-speaker today, Mr. Nguyen, and my chair, Wei Chen, and Dr. Linh. The first, I have an idea for Dr. Linh. I want to tell it in all participants in Asia, in CPD. This is, we know that this is a PDFF, very new to MRI, very good for liver, for diagnosis, for the liver, for patient. I'm discussed with the Dr. Linh first. We not enough case for research, and we only saw for you. Like you see, Dr. Linh saw in around 300 cases. We want to show for you, and we want to hear from you experience in another which country you use PDF. Please share for us. We learn to get the first. And the second, I'm recommend in GE, you please support for research with Dr. Linh more and more. Some case, more case. We cooperation with Dr. Linh for research more and more PDF technique in MRI. Okay, with Wei Chen, I have a question. Question with Wei Chen. I'm not sure. I'm not sure now. In you see in the deep result in you this is the software or hardware. Why I ask you software or hardware? I know this is deep learning AI, but why I ask you, because I want to thinking about it's software and hardware, because we can update for some on MRI, some 1.5 from a Siemens and MRI. They want to update for fast, very fast, deep results very fast. I look maybe a more hard time, very good for scan and imaging very better, quality better. I think very good. Yeah, you can answer how software or hardware for we can update for some on the MRI. And yeah, with Dr. Yang, I don't have a question. Okay.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah. So
for your question. Firstly, Dr. Lin can answer first, and after that, will Mr. Wei Chen. Yeah, okay. Dr. Lin can sharing your experience following the question of Mr. Locke. Dr. Lin, please. Okay, waiting for Dr. Lin. Please welcome to Mr. Wei Chen to answer the question of Mr. Locke.
Sure.
Yes.
So basically, artificial intelligence is more on software side. As you know that probably now we are in the fourth wave of artificial intelligence. Probably already aware that not artificial intelligence, not just in the medical or medtech industry. So for ChatGPT or other things, right? So it's basically software improvements. It's a neural network. It's a trained based on the amount of data we feed into the algorithms, so that you develop this descending gradients kind of algorithms. Yeah, so you have inputs and outputs, but in the center is a different nodes or layers of artificial intelligence. Basically, itself is a software, but however, to power that software, you need a fast speed computer, or in AMA more specifically, the image reconstruction engine. So yes, we could use the so-called the older version of the reconstruction engine, but however, for AMA images, in order to come out, maybe one image come out within like 1 second after scan or data acquisitions, then you really need a decent computer hardware. Otherwise, after the scan, you wait for 5 or 10 minutes for the image to come out. Sometimes it's just not acceptable in a clinical setting, right? So to make the clinical outflow more smooth, so usually besides getting the software, we also advise to get upgrade or decent hardware. But when you are upgrading the system to the latest version, definitely we will do a check to make sure that if your system is capable of performing supporting all the software, we will not upgrade the system. But if it is below the recommended performance, we will do upgrades for the system hardware as well.
Yeah, congratulations, upgrade. Can you upgrade? Thank you. Okay,
yes.
Dr. Lin, I don't answer. I have a question, Dr. Lin. I only recommend for Dr. Lin. Nothing. Yeah. Next, or maybe Mr. Wu have a question for Mr. Yang.
Yeah. One question for me to Mr. Yang. Which is the version of machine can we upgrade to the Recon GL? And is this a free upgrade or not?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Wu. So, so you have your question. You have two back. So the first question is, which version can be upgraded to Ericom DL? Basically, similarly to Siemens, so Ericom DL in GE is more related to like subware version. So, but there's some hardware requirement that we need to replace the imaging engine, reconstruction engine. So for the version, is actually Ericom DL can any system can be applied to ERICOM-DL actually. Recently, we have here in Vietnam a very long time system using HDAT. We for about the lifetime of the system is about 12 years already. But we are also able to upgrade that kind of system to the version of ERICOM-DL. So it's actually it's not free, but in our team, in service team, is in here in GE Healthcare, we have the very strong service team. They have every solution, financial solution for the customer to can upgrade the ERICOM-DL actually. Yeah. Thank you for your question, Mr. Wu.
And I have one more question. Yeah, I have. Thank you, Mr. Nya. I have one more question for Dr. Lin. Is it come back? Is it come back right now?
Yes.
Yes. From my experience, it is fair for me to do the MRI elastomer because of the liver iron concentration. So my question is for the patient with the liver iron concentration, it will affect the result when you measure by the MRI PDFF.
Okay, thanks about your questions. Actually, this ideal IQ sequence also give us two quantifications about liver fat and iron overloaded in the liver. And I somewhere read a reference that this ideal IQ sequence also address the limitations of patients who had iron overloaded. And because I'm not a radiographer, so about this, this is just actually in my experience, nearly 300 patients, I already checked if that the patient come with us to quantify the thickness of the liver tissue. But in the ideal IQ sequence, the GE machines and technologists also show us with doctor us that it also have an adjustment to fix that error about overloaded iron cases. Yeah.
Okay, so
thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Mr. Wu is okay with her answer. Yeah.
Thank you.
So how about the all the panelists who can get the question or discussion of this topic? Yes. If not, I will, because I received many questions from this topic, and please, speaker can open the video to answer the question. The first question is for Mr. Nguyen. What is the difference between ERICOM and hypersense introducing scan time? From
okay.
So
sorry. Okay, you can just go ahead.
Answer to everyone can hear us.
Okay, so I already answered, typing the answer in the chat box, but I can brief my answer is basically ERICOM-DL is based on the deep learning reconstruction, so it has to transform the raw data to the image compared to the Fourier transform, conventional Fourier transform. So with the help of deep learning methods, so the noise is perfectly recognized to be eliminated. So the outcome image we will get the image with a ton of signal. So because we have a plenty amount of signal, so we can use the parallel imaging technique to reduce the scanning time. So another parameters. But for the hypersense is a parallel imaging technique that we just collect less data on case by or we can call it like undersampling data acquisition to make it faster. But like Mr. Chen Wei has just aggressed because when we get the image with the Fourier transform, we need to collect all the information on case by. But with hypersense, we just like collect less data, but use another like interactive reconstruction to make the image with the shorter scan time. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Yang, for your answer. And I hope that Mr. Sơn Phan will get more knowledge and understand. Yes. And the question is for Mr. Wei Chen. What different between denoising, between deep, resolve, gain, and resolve, sharp, and other posts? Yeah, please answer.
Okay. So basically, for the denoising methods, we have a deep resolve gain and deep resolve boost, which is I think most of the player in the market currently is doing, using AI to do the denoising. But what's the difference between this gain and the boost? Basically, gain, I think that is also exclusive to Siemens. We are utilizing the noise map. Noise map can coming from the coil element configuration in the phase array coils, parallel imaging. So we are also utilizing that knowledge and put it into the AI iterative reconstruction to the denoising, which I don't think other players in the market currently is doing. But for the deep resolve boost is using the artificial intelligence to do the denoising. But one thing I want to highlight is the difference for us is that we are using this iterative reconstruction process. Every denoising we have to do a consistency check. We want to make sure every process, the data is always, processed data is always consistent or agree with the acquired data. So that's something I want to highlight here. So denoising only two, gain and boost. But there's something very, very interesting in the market currently. For us, no other players actually doing this approach. Basically, we have this sharp. Sharp is not meant to do the denoising, but sharp is to mean to let AI to do creating a resolution. So again, probably creating something that sounds a bit scary, but however, don't worry about this part because we also do a lot of consistency check. It's a bit similar to, you can understand this creating resolution like a zero filling or interpolation methods, but more superior to this interpolation. Instead of filling the case space with zeros, we simply just use AI to help us to fill the outer case space, but we always check the data created by the AI is always correct. Yeah, so that's something that's differently to answer this question. Denoising, gain and sharp, gain and boost, and sharp is exclusive. It does the increase the resolution task from AI. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for your answers, Mr. Wei Chen. And thank you, particulars of name Neuros Salam Bakro. Yeah, he had a question to Mr. Wei Chen. It's just the first question, and the second is deep dissolution, gain, sharp, boost, sweet brain, either for different part of the body.
Yes, again, sharp and boost is applicable for all the body parts. For the swift brain is only specifically is developed for the brain, so it's only used for the brain because the purpose of the swift brain is for very emergency stroke case management. Yeah, so that's have a very dedicated purpose for this technique. Yes.
Yes, thank you. And the last one is how many data for Luciaman due for DLL?
Okay, so as mentioned in my presentation, so for our AI, different body parts, we are not just so-called using a generalized AI models for all different body parts, for the brain, for the knee, for the hip. Every body part actually will have more than 10,000 cases used to train the AI neural network. But however, this is every versions. This is the bare minimum we have put in. But however, we are still developing the new AI applications with all these new developments. We are actually feeding in more and more cases into the AI. So every version release, actually, we always have a better, improved neural networks.
Yeah, thank you for your answer. And we just got the question from Mr. Sarah Kumar, the president of ASRT. And can you make the question to the speaker? Yeah, can you speak up? Can you speak the question to the speaker, please?
Very good afternoon. It's really a good lectures today. On AI, the role of AI in identifying the malignancies and the success rate of the early identification. So what is the success rate in early identification in the case of malignancies identification through AI?
Yes. And who speaker you would like
Maybe
to answer?
Mr. Trong Hong.
Yeah, Trương Hoàng Nhân, Mr. Trương Hoàng Nhân. Open video, please.
Yeah, sorry, sir. Can you repeat your question? I don't get it.
Yeah, what is the role of AI, artificial intelligence, in identifying the malignancies during the MRI scan and the success rate of identification in the early stages?
Yes, can
President Indian would ask you, malignant for the Ericombia. How about you? You think?
Well, malignant actually in Ericombia right now in GE, we focus on increase the image quality, improve image quality in terms of increase the SNR. So basically, so when your image you get more and more SNR, so the lesion gonna be more obvious compared to conventional reconstruction. Is it that a question? Sorry.
Yes, the question maybe it's not clear.
So for it doesn't matter for malignant cancer or benign cancers. For malignant cancer or benign. So basically, Eric have to improve the image quality. So the lesion, it doesn't matter. The lesion is so it can help to make the lesion more obviously. More obvious, yeah.
How about Sandra Kumar? Sandra Kumar?
Yes, I'm not clearly get the information. So okay, we'll get in touch personally. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, another question from the panelists or participant. Can I get to? Okay. All the question is, which country in CEI have this software? Which country in CEI? Sorry, what means
Southeast Asia. Which country have a software in Southeast Asia? He want to ask.
Yes, Mr. Wei Chen again.
Okay.
Can you?
So basically, this is one of the very interesting. Thank you for asking. This is very exciting. Actually, I'm sitting.
Sorry, I can again. Southeast Asia. Which country in Southeast Asia? Yeah,
Okay.
have this.
So basically, currently I'm sitting in Singapore. What happens is that almost every customers in Singapore, they asking for this software. So we're already delivering this software to almost every customer in the government hospital sectors. Yeah, so also I think in Vietnam, we also currently have a couple of sites have the deep resolve package, and they are also utilizing it for super fast, high throughput productivity. So it's already available in Vietnam. In Thailand also we have it, Philippines also. So basically the clearance from the authority MOH is already cleared. It just the customers if they want to have it, they can have it now, right? But that's what I know currently in Southeast Asia.
Yes, thank you for your answer. And
Sorry, Mr. Dung. Sorry, Mr. Dung. You see in webinar charts. I have a question from Vigilunas and.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I just get a message from Vichiluna and from the YouTube live on VART. So the question is for Mr. Nguyen. So can you prepare it? Is possible on-way in high recon DL? Is possible to put on-way in high recon EDL and do radiologist approach application in each sequence?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, actually Eric MDM have 3 different level. The low one and the medium one and also the high one. So the question is, high Eric MDL is the other way apply. Yes, you can actually apply a high Eric MDL, but it depends on the actually it is depend. When I set up the protocol for my customer, I have to depend on their idea. So depends. So image quality is something is very subjective. So different doctor have different view of the image quality. So when I set up the protocol for them, I usually try my best to set up the high one with the high resolution at the same time to improve the spatial. I mean, to get a sharper, the image more sharper, and also with a shorter scan time. But of course, I have to ask the customer feedback to get when I set up the protocol. Yeah. So that also answer from your question about the do radiologist approve such application in this frequent. Yes, in my country here in Vietnam, most of the customer refer to do with Eric MDL, but depends on the sequence by sequence. Sometimes they refer some sequence in just in the medium level, but some sequence they prefer with the high level actually. Yeah.
Yes, thank you for your answer. And anyone question to speaker?
I think Madam Chan Lai-Kwan has raised her hand virtually.
I'm not very good with MR, but just want to find out, since this is the latest software, so basically whichever institution that need this software, they need to have machines, MRI, that have high output computer, right? So basically that is not all the institution can get this software up, how do I say, upgrade to their system, right? Anyone, GE or Siemens, can answer this?
Yes, GE and Siemens can answer.
Yeah, probably I will go first. Basically, we have the upgrade path to let all our customers who want actually want to have this software. There's an upgrade path. So basically, before we do the upgrades, we first evaluate what the current status of the system, and if the system software or hardware is a bit too outdated. So first thing, we need to come up with a suggestion on hardware parts before we can upgrade. So we will first upgrade the platform. Secondly, we will install the latest software over our deep resolve software package on the latest software. Yeah. So this part will be fully taken care by our service engineer. So no need to worry. For every system, we have prepared the upgrade path for it.
And
thank you.
How about
GE?
I believe that the workflow for on the vendor is have the same. So as first, the service team will contact with you to investigate your system status. So as I mentioned before with the Mr. Wu, that when you do upgrade for Ericom DL, for the hardware requirement, you have to change the imaging reconstruction engine. So so that it depends on the software version of the system at this moment. The system will be upgraded. The system version will be upgraded to the latest software version which compatible with Ericom DL. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So yes, anyone else for a question?
Maybe
Yeah, I guess just so now I would like to stop. Very good, wonderful Q&A session here, and in the end, so thank you so much to the presidents, panelists, speakers, and all of the participants on Zoom and also on YouTube VART. Together, we have made the Science Park successfully. And now, please back to PT Luna to handle the seminar. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, session moderator, Mr. Liu Ching Dung. And again, thank you very much to all our presidents and our panelists. The VART, Vietnam Association of Radiological Technologists, has just provided us with 3 great speakers who have just shared to us very interesting discussions. Thank you so much to our speakers, Mr. Trung Wang Nan, Mr. Wei Chan, and Dr. Nguyen Ho Truc Ling. We have learned so much from your interesting and very important discussions. But in the interest of time, we have to cut from here to give way for the closing session. And I know you are all excited to know more about the next exciting online Asia CPD. So please welcome President of Hong Kong Radiographers Association, HKRA, President Won Shun Bun Nelson, to give us his invitation.
Hi everyone, I will be representing Nelson Wen to let you know the next Asia CPD will be hosted by the Hong Kong Radiographers Association. The topic of next meeting is smart radiology. We will be having experts from Bayer Healthcare, Scan, United Imaging, and the Hong Kong Polytechnic University to give lectures on updated ACR guideline and evidence on contrast safety, 3D ultrasound imaging with AI for scoliosis assessment, total body 5T MR imaging, and deep learning basis differentiation of COVID and non-COVID infection cases, and segmentation of infected region of chest X-ray. The annual scientific meeting for Hong Kong participants will be held live on site at the New World Millennium Hong Kong Hotel on 12th of August at 2 p.m. Hong Kong time. For Asia CPD participants, we will hold a meeting through Zoom on a different date, and the date will be announced later through your regional associations. So please stay tuned. Thank you. Peachy, please.
Yes, thank you for that very interesting invitation, Mr. Philip Chu for HKRA. Again, we give thanks to the support of our sponsors and VT Healthcare Vietnam. Also, we are grateful to our 3 great speakers, and most of all, we are sincerely thankful to all the member societies presidents and to our hardworking CPD Asia IT team, and of course, to all our registered participants who have made this online CPD Asia program a success. See you again in the 28th CPD Asia, and again, I'm Peachy Luna, and I say thank you everyone, and have a good day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Have a good day.
Luna. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
You're my sister.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.